Welcome back, everyone. This is your cncHD, and we are here in the World Series 2015 of Command & Conquer 0 Hour. We are looking here right now at the first round, and here at the bottom left corner we have MrX in his yellow color as the super weapon general, and MrX is fighting against MrJABARI here in the top right corner as the nuke general purple color. We are looking at the map Forgotten Forest, which is the first map in 0 Hour World Series 2015 in the first round. We do have two MrX here on this map, one at the bottom right, one at the top left corner, and each player has two supplies to gather resources from. So this map has limited cash on it, and you have to get to those MrX to get more income. We can see MrX going for one supply, one barracks, and by the looks of it he is going for some no echo build, or maybe building the second supply later. On the other hand, MrJABARI is going for two war factories, so we can expect some nuke battlemasters driving very fast to his opponent. Nuke battlemasters against Humvees. This is an extremely good combo, and by the looks of it we are going to see a no echo build by MrX. MrX going to send us those to the top, and on the right flank, on the right side, we are going to see the tanks are in production, and we do not see a battlemaster, but we see a Gatling tank, and here out of the second war factory also a Gatling tank. So no battlemasters are being in production right now. There's a no echo build being prepared. His opponent has no idea whatsoever, and there's the ambulance. And no echo attack is on its way. Oh, the missile defender is not being loaded up into the Humvee. Not very polite of MrX, not letting this one guy in. Seems like he doesn't have a ticket. He cannot ride with the Humvee train to his enemy to rape the ass of his enemy. And MrJABARI has bad cards here for the second round. He is sending his battlemaster back to his base, and he is building a troop crawler. But the Red Guards cannot stand a chance against the Humvees. MrX is microing out those Red Guards very easily, and now the supply trucks are under pressure. Meanwhile, he's building another Humvee in his base and trying to get his this Gatling tank out of his base. Dozer is destroyed. The nuke battlemaster tried to detonate itself, and if this battlemaster blow itself up between those two Humvees, this is going to blow very hard. Looks like the battlemaster is going to do a blowjob here between those two battlemasters, but compared to real life, you don't want to get a blowjob by a battlemaster here. Really blow yourself up there. There's another Gatling tank coming in, and only one Humvee is surviving for MrX. There's another Gatling tank shooting on those Chinooks, and there is a second Humvee in production. The Humvee is driving around the base, destroying this one Gatling tank. The Red Guard, it looks like he feels like he is Superman, taking on this Humvee on himself, but not succeeding at all. There are mines, and MrX needs to be very careful. He's aware of that there are mines. And MrJABARI has been defeated. So the no echo rush succeeding in the first match, and MrX going with a 1-0 score against MrJABARI. So let's go into the second match. And here we are in the second match, and we are looking at a GLA vanilla by MrJABARI at the bottom left corner, and at the top right position we are looking again on a super weapon general by MrX. This is completely random here, so MrX getting the super weapons super shit general 2 times in a row So bad luck there for MrX. Maybe we will see a second no echo rush, but let's see what MrX is doing. MrJABARI building the barracks, and I expect a terror attack coming here from MrJABARI. There are 2 workers, 3 workers running to the second supply. So 1 supply station, 1 tunnel, and maybe 1 for gathering resources by the looks of it. And another worker here running to the bottom right corner to secure the oil rig. There is the barracks, there's the war factory, and this time we have 2 supply centers for MrX, so this time no echo rush. The tunnel in a surprisingly position. Normally the players build it here near to the oil rig, but MrJABARI builds it here near to the bridge. Interesting place there to put down the tunnel, and another worker running to the top to place down the tunnel here. So there are the 5 terrorists like I expected. The terror attack is on its way, and the arms dealer blocking those workers just a little bit. I'm not sure if this is reducing the income. I'm not 100% sure, but I don't think so. But it's blocking the workers just a bit. And there's a second technical. So we have 2 technicals on the way. MrJABARI preparing those 2 technicals, and I believe MrX is going to see it. Ah, no! It's just on the edge. He is not seeing it whatsoever. And those 2 technicals are coming in, and MrX doesn't know about it. MrX has 1 Humvee here. He has secured this building there on the top, and the 2 technicals coming in, and now trying to harass the top supply. MrX is aware of it, and he sends 3 Humvees to the top. The first tactical is there. This one was with the terrorists. The terrorists not dealing any damage at all. There's the tunnel going up, but this doesn't look very good for MrJABARI, and he is losing all his units, not destroying a single Humvee there. Oh, okay, he finished 1 Humvee there, but that's it. The attack failed, and he did only finish off 1 Humvee there. The tunnel is being placed down. The RPG is now going into the house, and here at the bottom side we can see 2 more technicals with the promotion. Now there's a tunnel going up here next to the oil rig, and more technicals coming in. Now it would be a good step for MrX to build a strategy center against this technical spam. With the search and destroy, the technicals are just no match for the Humvees. MrX spotting the tunnel in time, killing the worker. The tunnel is denied and a cancel is needed, but MrJABARI not cancelling the tunnel, losing 800 cash there with the tunnel scaffold. I do like the map control of MrX. He is completely aware of what's happening here right now. He sees those 6 technicals coming in his base, but he has those Humvees on a bad position, so those technicals coming in and are going to hit the base here. But they are in a bad placement, so those Humvees can pick off those technicals very easily, and the technicals just driving into the Humvees and losing every technical there, not doing any damage. And this is defended very nicely there by MrX. He is now building up a command center, and MrJABARI captured 1 of the 2 oil rigs, and the rebel is already running to the second oil rig to increase the income. MrJABARI now with a better income compared to his enemy. But now 4 Humvees and 1 ambulance coming in, and MrJABARI is going to build his palace just at this moment. So this one is not going to finish in time, and the Humvees will finish this one off. And there they are coming in. And good for MrJABARI that he cancelled the palace. This was really needed there. This palace had no chance at all. There are more technicals coming in, but I don't think the technicals are going to be the right choice against those Humvees. All are being destroyed there at once. Only 2 are surviving and getting back into the tunnel. The barracks, easy match for those Humvees. Now there are the 4 more tacticals coming in, targeting around 1 Humvee, but the Humvee is surviving and the technicals are gone. So I expect a defeat here by MrJABARI any second. He's just finishing this tunnel there right now, and MrX completely aware of this situation. And there goes another building. I believe it was a barracks. Now the arms dealer is in danger. Technical just is being destroyed. And I think after the arms dealer is going down, this match is over. MrJABARI is sitting on 4,400 cash. And there's the defeat. MrJABARI has been defeated, and MrX going with a 2-0 score. He only needs 1 more win, because this is a best of 5, and with one more win, he's going to win the first round against MrJABARI. So let's go into the 3rd match. And here in the 3rd match we are looking at the nuke general of MrX, so this time not getting a super weapon general. And we have a TNT general for MrJABARI. So I expect 2 war factories of MrX going for mass battle masters, and I think his opponent is going for the terror attack again and trying to get those 2 Widescreens under his control very fast. But let's see what those 2 players are doing. There's 1 worker here running to the bottom supply to establish this supply stash there, and a 2nd worker on the way to run here to the Widescreen. This worker here is running maybe here to this spot to place down a tunnel there, but I'm not very sure about it. By the looks of it, he is running there. And now he's just building a tunnel here between those buildings. Very good position for a tunnel. You can garrison all those buildings there with your 2 RPGs. 2 red guards now on the way for MrX. So MrX decides to go for the Widescreens very fast in the beginning. Nice decision there. And no double war factory for MrX. He's going for barracks and 1 war factory, playing it nicely and slow with tanks and infantry. And here are 2 workers coming in on the bottom. So MrJABARI going aggressively for the bottom Widescreen, building 1 tunnel here at the church to infiltrate the church, and 1 here building a demo trap, but not getting the red guard. The worker is being shot there by the red guard, and the worker being dead there. Oh no, the worker is escaping, but there the red guard spots the worker and now he's dead. Poor worker. So now MrX going for the oil grab. Oh, but a technical killing the red guard there. Poor red guard. And the Widescreen not being captured there by MrX. The worker here is absolutely doing nothing. He's praising his god in front of the church, but besides that, absolutely doing nothing. Terrorists driving into the mines. So this was not a successful attack at all for MrJABARI. I'm not sure if he has detected the airfield. There is an airfield on the way, and I believe a helix is coming out of it very soon. We have a lot of troops here for MrX scattered across the map, and he's sending 1 battlemaster here to the Widescreen, which will drive into the demo trap, and there it goes. Nicely placed demo trap there by MrJABARI. There's another tactical coming in. I believe he's driving to the 2nd supply, but again driving into the mines. So again a wasted terror attack. Now a propaganda center for MrX. And rocket helix is on the way. Now 2 RPGs making their way to the base of MrX, but they will do absolutely nothing. They are going to spot the Helix, maybe. No, they are not. And MrJABARI sees this problem, this flying fortress. He sees it. But the Helix is flying into the building, getting hurt there by just 1 RPG. This was not a good attack there by MrX, and he's flying away to repair this Helix. I think he had this Helix on a move and just flied accidentally into this garrison building. The tunnel is up, and the nuke battlemaster trying to do some damage there, driving over some troops, denying the oil capturing with killing the rebel. Nuke battlemaster not blowing itself up near to the Scorpion, so the Scorpion gets absolutely no damage, but it would have survived anyway. There's Black Lotus now on the way, so fast Lotus for MrX. But I'm not sure why he did rush out the capturing upgrade if he builds the Lotus very fast anyway. Not very sure if this was the right decision, but anyway, he has the Alderac and now he's getting the second one, so this is the important fact here right now, and he's getting the 1000 extra cash. The rebel is on its way and he tries to capture the Alderac, but MrJABARI sees Black Lotus and he knows what's there. He knows that the propaganda center is up for his opponent, and he knows that those Overlord tanks, which are very scary for as the nuke general, those things are coming to him, and he only has this. So this is not going to be enough at all against MrX. Also MrX has this Helix up, and so MrX has a really strong army there. He has Overlords, ECM tanks, Battlemasters, Flamers, Helixes. So MrX has everything. He even has a Black Lotus, which is now running to the base and maybe stealing some cash there. So it's a very scary army there by MrX, and MrJABARI now really has to do something. He's building up his palace, which is at 75%, and he's also building a demo bike. The demo bike can destroy the Overlord if used correctly, and by the looks of it, this was very close. The ECM tank and the Battlemaster stopped the demo bike, but this was very close there. Now the army is flying and the Helix is getting hurt by this garrison building. And MrJABARI going here to place a few demo. Look at this, 3 demo traps there, and the 4th one is going up. He is heavily going for those demo traps. But Black Lotus is spotting those demo traps. There's an Overlord with a Gatling turret, so MrX is going to spot those demo traps for sure. If you blow up this demo trap, I'm not sure if Black Lotus is going to survive this. I think Black Lotus is going to be killed there. But he's not blowing up the demo trap. Driving over this demo trap there, losing 1 Battlemaster. Supply stash is sold there, and Lotus escaping. Now this quad cannon has absolutely no chance at all. The Helix is getting shot down there without doing anything. Nice demo bike! Nice demo bike! Destroying all those tanks. Very beautiful attack there by MrJABARI. MrX not being careful enough. There's another demo bike. And this was a nice defense there. This is the correct use of demo bikes. Very nice blow up there with the demo bike. But this is not going to be enough against MrX anyway, because he has 1 Alderac and he has the advantage, I believe. And he also has a few Helixes, which are very strong, but also his opponent has some quads, so he needs to be careful. This Alderac is belonging to MrJABARI, so both players are on equal income very soon. Once this supply stash finished, both players will be on equal income. So MrX going heavily for Helixes and Overlords, and is building up a second barracks. So he wants those helixes filled up with tank hunters very fast, and he's making the right choice. He is going for the oil derrick, and I really like the play here by MrJABARI, placing down all the demo traps. Just look at this, 3 on this one island there, and a lot more demo traps there at the top. Nice decision there by MrX, going for the oil derrick very fast to reduce the income of his enemy. This is a very important step which many players forget all the time. Finishing off this oil derrick, I mean. The flame tank here going for those garrison buildings, but the RPG is going away very fast. And the helix is going there for those scorpion tanks, saving the ass of the flame tank, but the quads are there to bring those helixes down, but with no success. Here we have Black Lotus again. Black Lotus here now running to the top, spotting all those demo traps. Just look at this. Very, very beautiful play as the demo general, placing down all those demo traps. 3 helixes for MrX, and the internet center is going up, so MrX is preparing for the late game already. And another demo trap going up, and also a tunnel, so MrJABARI in the defensive position, not going to be the aggressor. MrX is the aggressor through the whole game, and I think MrX is going to win this match, because he's very good here with the map control, and he also still had... Okay, he lost the oil derrick. Forget what I say about the advantage. Both players are equal now, and yeah, MrJABARI needs to attack his enemy. His enemy only has 3 helixes. Okay, this one overlord tank can be taken out by a 1-jump kill if needed. The palace is there, so the opportunity to snipe this overlord is given. Black Lotus here running around in circles, not sure what she's searching for, maybe scouting the area. There's no way to capture this supply station, maybe from behind, but there are 2 tunnels filled up with quad cannons, so this is a dangerous mission there for Black Lotus. 2 battle masters now coming in, maybe to finish off this tunnel. And now the black market's going up for MrJABARI, so both players preparing for the late game with hackers and black markets. So like I said, the battle masters are going for those tunnels. A pop out here would not be a good decision, but a pop out here is a beautiful decision. Bringing down 1 helix there, and 3 demo bikes for just 2 battle masters is just a big waste. And he lost 3 demo bikes just for nothing. Okay, he just finished off 1 battle master there, but this was a complete waste there of demo bikes. The battle masters are stopped, the supply station is gone, Black Lotus did her job, finished her job, and the quads are back in the tunnel. But MrJABARI needs to do a move. He needs to attack his enemy. I think MrJABARI thinks that his enemy is well prepared, but his enemy doesn't have so much. He has quads against the helixes, so the helixes shouldn't be any big deal at all. Only this 1 overlord tank can be a threat, but there's Cal who can snipe overlords very easily. But instead, MrJABARI is deciding to hold the position and not going to be the aggressor. I think this will cost him the game if he continues like this. A nuke center, a nuclear missile, I mean, is about to finish for MrX. Not very sure what he has in mind. Okay, mechs are the strategy here right now for MrX. So nice decision. I think Own Age Machine would appreciate this MiG attack, and Own Age Machine of the General's Gentleman would be very happy to see this, because this is one of his favorite units, and Own Age Machine always gets very happy to see nuke mix. So very nice decision here going for nuke mix, but this is also a very expensive upgrade. 2,500 for this upgrade, extremely expensive. Now there's Kel on a solo mission. He's on an ego trip and he wants to do some nasty work for the GLA. There's one technical there, not in a lucky position. Helix is flying around here. We have one propaganda tower and I believe 2 bunker helixes. No, only 1 bunker helix, but 1 propaganda, which is very important. Oh, Kel is getting spotted by Black Lotus. Oh, poor Kel. The solo mission didn't succeed there for Kel. 1,500 lost cash there for MrJABARI. And MrJABARI needs to do something. He is only tunneling himself in. He is building a ton of demo traps. But beside this, he is not doing anything on the attack mode. And this will definitely cost him the game. There are the 3 helixes, but they need to be very careful. Those quads are going to pop out of this tunnel and are going to bring those helixes down. This is not good to engage with 3 helixes. Definitely not what you want to do as a China player. Black Lotus here standing, scouting the area. And I believe we will see more overlords. But this one nuke, one shot there on those quads would be beautiful. And I believe the nuke upgrade is about to finish. The nuke is going into position. But only shooting on those RPGs with no upgrade at all. But this upgrade should be finished very soon. Okay, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 battle masters for MrJABARI. A 7th one is going to finish very soon. A command center is now going up for MrJABARI, and this means MrJABARI now has cash bounty activated with the scaffold. We have 2 more battle masters on the way, but a few overlords would be very good right now. Instead, MrX is only going for battle masters by the looks of it. The helixes are flying around here, finishing off all those buildings, which is a good decision because the GLA player loves to garrison those. Oh, and bad timing for those demo bikes. This was a very bad timing for those 2 bikes there. Losing both of them. We have more demo bikes down the bottom, blowing those battle masters up. And now Stinger sights are going up for MrJABARI. He is completely in defensive position. Now here the quads preparing for the helix strike and splitting them up because of the nuke mix. I think he fears those nuke mix which have no upgrade at all right now. MrX sitting on 1000 cash. And he's shooting with the artillery there on the top spot, and the bomber is coming in. Nice bomber there, finishing off 2 quads and 1 demo bike. This was really worth it, and the artillery strike is going on the black market, finishing it and killing the worker who was building the command center. Demo bike finished 2 battle masters. And there's another demo bike coming in, but bad luck for the demo bike because there are 3 helixes, but there are the big brothers, there are the quads waiting for the helixes. Black Lotus here now needs to be careful not running into this demo trap, but she is sneaking around them and trying to find a good way into the GLA base. And the command center is about to finish, and this enables the rebel ambush for MrJABARI if he decides to pick it or if he's going. And there's the rebel ambush blowing up this airfield. There is no MiG in the airfield right now, so good luck there for MrX. And there's the blow up. Supply truck finished, airfield finished, but a helix got out of it. But the airfield needs to be rebuilt, otherwise the MiG will go down once it has no ammunition left. Again, destroying another building there, but the quads are again there, and this is going to get boring to watch. MrJABARI, I want to have some attack of you and not only building defense buildings. And if this continues, I'm going to forward this match because it's getting very boring right now. So let's skip this thing a little bit forward, and the nuke missile is going to hit this spot, but the quads are going to rip through the helixes. One helix goes down with the bunker. Lost units there from MrX. So let's skip a bit forward. Quads coming through, finishing off this bomber. But then again, going back into the tunnel. Why don't you attack? Okay, so there's a heavy army income. Okay, this is bad news. But there is a demo bike, and this demo bike is going to land. 2 battle masters finished there, and another demo bike. Oh no! Destroying so many tanks. Bad luck there from MrX, losing so much stuff there right now. So good use there of the demo bikes. Another demo bike coming in, and it's going to hit the Overlord tank, but there is the helix, and the Overlord tank has been blown up. And I think MrX is sitting in front of his monitor and is screaming the hell. And there is the quit. MrX very pissed off. He is extremely pissed off right now. But I would be the same if I lose all my units just to some stupid demo bikes. But nicely played there by MrJABARI, defending this one. Nice and easy. But I didn't like the defensive play by MrJABARI. I have to say this. It was very boring. The beginning was very spectacular, very entertaining. But then around the 14-minute mark, it got too boring. It was just a pain to watch. But then again, nicely played there. So we have 2 wins for MrX, 1 win for MrJABARI. MrX needs 1 more win. MrJABARI needs 2 more wins. Let's jump into the next one. And in the 4th match, we are looking at an Air Force General by MrX, and he's fighting against a Demolition General by MrJABARI. MrJABARI getting the Demolition General again, and MrX for the 3rd time in the 1st round getting USA. But USA Air Force is one awesome general on its own. I really like the Air Force General. You have so many good units which are just awesome. For example, the King Raptors, the Stealth Comanches, the Chinox with their blink ability is just a very good general there. And MrX is getting it. And MrJABARI, I believe he's going for the demo technical. Let's wait for the buildings. There's the arms dealer and the barracks finishing. There's the tunnel. So I believe we are going to see a terror attack. 2nd supply up, and 2 workers running again to the bottom spot. So MrJABARI really likes to send a lot of workers to one oil rig to secure it at all costs. But this worker decides to go here to this village. Nice decision to throw down a tunnel there. Always very good if you do this as the GLA player. But he is not going to throw down a tunnel there. He's going to throw down a tunnel. He's going to build a demo trap. Oh, nice decision there. So going for a fast demo trap. And we are going to see some Humvees there by MrX. Garrison this building to make sure no terror attack coming through this spot. And I believe the Humvee is driving into the demo trap. This could be very crucial here in the early stage of this game. But good decision not driving over the bridge. There's the terror attack coming in. And by the looks of it, it's going to hit some of the important buildings there. MrX is spotting it, sending 3 Humvees down there to the technical chasing it, and there are the terrorists blowing the supply center up, and 2 more terrorists blowing up the reactor, so no power and only 1 supply left for Mr. X. Mr. X going to rebuild the reactor immediately. Laser lock there on the technical. Almost. Okay, so completely finishing it. And this is always very good for the GLA player. They have the possibility to finish off the war factory or the supply center. I believe going for the supply center is the best decision because this cripples the income of the USA player. USA player has very expensive supply buildings, 2,000 for 1 supply building. I believe going for the supply center is better than going for the war factory. Another tactical now filled up with RPGs, finishing off this dozer, but the technical getting picked off there by the Humvees, and the attack has been stopped. Mr. X sitting on 1 dozer there, and he needs to be careful not losing this 1 dozer. Few rangers running around, not having flashbangs, but they don't need them right now because there's no garrison building for MrJABARI. MrJABARI going heavily on the demo traps, and he's heavily fortifying the bottom right corner. He's about to capture the Alderac. And we can see 2 rangers running to the top, scouting the area, making sure there's no tunnel here at the top spot. Oh, nice demo trap! Nice demo trap! Finishing off this 1 Humvee, and I think 1 technical got destroyed there by this 1 Humvee. 4 more Humvees on the way, and they need a spy drone. They only have this Hellfire drone, but they should upgrade a spy drone. MrJABARI likes demo traps, and if you don't have a spy, there's a spy drone. So Mr. X sending 1 Humvee in front so he can scout the demo traps, and now he has free range to finish off the 2nd supply, and this looks very bad for MrJABARI. MrJABARI is about to finish his palace. It's halfway through, but he needs units right now, ASAP, and if he don't have units, he is about to lose the 1st round. This is the last match for Mr. X. If he wins this one, he is in the next round, and MrJABARI will be out. Only 4 quads to counter this attack. 1 Humvee is down, but there are 3 more to counter. Now it comes down to good Humvee micro, and Mr. X is going to take this one, I believe. Terrorist coming in, not getting shot there by the Humvees, and there's another demo bike. Humvees needs to be careful. Oh, this was close. And the palace is up, and the Humvees have no chance to get through this fortress here. Another demo bike there for MrJABARI. Alderac here is lost, and 1 Alderac belongs to MrJABARI. There's a spy drone, and 1 technical coming in here at the left position, harassing the base of Mr. X. 1 demo bike tried his luck, but not succeeding, and this one is going to finish the dozer, but with a demo blow. Good. Oh, losing 2 Humvees to the demo bike. No, I believe Mr. X is going to scream again. I would scream a lot right now. Good thing Mr. X has the command center, so he can finish the strategy center. Mr. X also has some good map control here. 2 pilots running to the bottom, but not jumping into the Humvee. The Humvee dropping a few missile defenders here, so they can increase the map control, can secure this area. They also secured the bottom area. Mr. X has just every important building here on this map. He knows what's coming to him, and he has the command center, and he also has search and destroy right now, and he sees what his enemy is doing. There's the 2nd supply stage going up for the enemy, but I don't think this will help him. Oh, there's also a bomber, and the bomber is going to absolutely decimate those workers. There are more demo bikes on the way by MrJABARI. Oh, this really cripples MrJABARI because he's only on this one single building as the income. Second supply stage just finished right now. Oh, and we do see a combat Chinook, but I think that MrJABARI has a few quads in his tunnels, so MrX needs to be very careful with engaging this position, and there are the quads, and those quads are going to rip through this combat Chinook. The second supply is finished, and the quads are not arriving in time. There are a lot of demo bikes there for MrJABARI, which are just waiting for those Humvees to engage his position. But I'm not very sure if MrX is going heavily on Humvees again. He's not going for the aircraft. MrJABARI very crippled there with his income. He has only one supply and one oil derrick, and MrX has two supplies. But I think this puts both players on an equal income, but there's one second supply missing, so MrJABARI could increase his income there and put himself ahead with the income. And there are all those workers just waiting till the second supply stage is finished. Just look at this map control. MrX is everywhere. He also has King Raptors right now. I really like this switch with the strategy. He is switching to the aircraft completely, and he's also now building supply drop zones to prepare himself for the late game. Comet Chinook taking care of this garrison building. There are 4 quads waiting for this Comet Chinook to bring it down, but the Comet Chinook sees it and is flying away. Just absolutely massive map control there for MrX, who is now going for the oil derrick, which is a very good decision. The combat Chinook is in a place where it shouldn't be, but it was worth it because the oil derrick is gone, and MrJABARI now on an equal income with his opponent. Oh, we see Colonel Burton now coming in. Very nice decision going for the commando unit. 2 stealth Comanches chilling here. And the tunnel has been cancelled there at the bottom position. We also see more Comanches there at the bottom, and the Comet Chinook is being repaired. More supply drop zones going up for MrX. The King Raptor is just flying through here, scouting the area, and now shooting on this one tunnel. The quads not there in time to bring those 2 planes down to the ground. So let's see. This looks very bad for MrJABARI. Also, MrJABARI doesn't have black markets, so MrX is way ahead with the income. He is in an absolutely beautiful position right now, and he also has massive map control, so I don't think MrX is going to lose this match. So there's the first black market going up for MrJABARI, but I'm not very sure if this one is going to help him a lot. MrJABARI really needs to do something right now. He needs to stop his enemy. He needs to increase his map control. He needs to do something right now, because right now he only sees this, and the other half of the map is belonging to MrX. 2 King Raptors now finishing off another tunnel. And a bad thing for MrJABARI is those King Raptors can absolutely rip through this palace. This palace is going to be a cake for the King Raptors. Also, 2 nicely placed King Raptors can finish off this arms dealer. Those demo bikes are absolutely doing nothing for MrJABARI. And he knows it, so he is placing them down here at the top right position, because he can do absolutely nothing with them. Oh, nice pop out there by MrJABARI, bringing down no planes at all, but it was very close. This was indeed a very nice pop out there. Spectre gunship now coming in, and we have a lot of Comanches there from MrX. The Spectre gunship is going to destroy this arms dealer and maybe this supply stage too. This is some massive damage. The arms dealer falls, the supply stage surviving just barely, but MrJABARI only on 1 income. And look at this, the workers are only looking at those supplies, doing absolutely nothing. 2 more King Raptors destroying the tunnel. So this means no tunnels there any longer on the bottom side. What are those workers doing? They're just standing there, and now 3 more workers joining the group. I think they're just sitting there smoking some weed and just being in another world. And there's the detonation, there is the defeat. MrJABARI has been defeated, and MrX takes the 3rd win, which puts him into the 2nd round. Nicely played there. And I really liked the first match. It was a no echo rush, but it did its job. The 2nd match was also good. Was the 2nd match the bunkering match? I'm not very sure. I think the 3rd match was a bunkering match. The bunkering match was pretty boring, but the rest of the matches are good. The last match was a bit sloppy, but MrX really put out some good offense there. He was the aggressor all the time. Nicely played, and GG, I would say. So MrX in the next round, and yeah, I thank you for watching. If you want to see those replays, check out the video description below. And yeah, see you in another game. Bye bye.